What I'm about to reveal could change how you look at breakfast forever, and it might be the hidden reason your kidneys are failing faster than they should. I need to tell you something that most doctors are not talking about. There is one fruit sitting in the average senior's refrigerator right now. A fruit that looks completely innocent. A fruit that your doctor has probably never warned you about. And this one fruit may be quietly robbing you of something that no medicine can easily give back: your kidney function. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly which everyday fruit may be silently destroying the organs that filter your blood and keep you alive. And then, I am going to show you the 3 foods that can help you fight back and protect your kidneys starting today. Now, I know you have heard a lot of health advice over the years, and a lot of it has been good, but here is the part that does not always get said. After the age of 60, your kidneys respond to certain foods in a completely different way than they did when you were younger, and some foods that seem perfectly healthy can start doing real damage. Quietly, slowly, with no obvious warning signs until one day your blood work comes back wrong. Your energy is gone, and your body is filling with toxins that your kidneys can no longer filter out. That matters because kidney disease is now the 9th leading cause of death in adults over 65. Not a heart attack that comes suddenly, not a stroke you can see coming. Kidney failure. And it creeps up so silently that most people don't even know their kidneys are struggling until they've lost more than 60% of their function. By then, the damage is often irreversible. So stay with me through this whole video, because the fruit I am going to name later is in almost every senior's kitchen, marketed as one of the healthiest foods on earth, and you absolutely need to know this before you eat it again. Let us start with the good news. The first food I want to tell you about today is cranberries. Now, I know some of you are already thinking about cranberry juice from the store, but hear me out, because real cranberries, not the sweetened juice, are doing something inside your kidneys right now that most people over 60 desperately need. Here is the problem that almost nobody talks about. As you get older, bacteria have an easier time sticking to the walls of your urinary tract and your bladder. That means urinary tract infections, or UTIs, become more common. And here is what most people don't realize. Repeated UTIs don't just cause discomfort. They can travel up to your kidneys and cause infections there, and kidney infections cause permanent scarring. Every infection leaves a little bit of damage behind, like tiny scars on the filtering units inside your kidneys. Think of your kidneys like 2 coffee filters working 24 hours a day to clean your blood. When those filters are smooth and intact, they catch waste and toxins perfectly and let the good stuff pass through. But when those filters get scarred from repeated infections, they develop holes and weak spots. The waste starts slipping back into your blood, and the proteins your body needs start leaking out into your urine. That is not a metaphor. That is exactly what is happening inside your body right now, if you've had multiple UTIs over the years. Cranberries contain natural compounds called proanthocyanidins, or PACs. And here is the simple version of how this works. When you eat cranberries, those PACs make it almost impossible for bacteria, especially E. coli, to stick to the walls of your urinary tract. The bacteria just slide right off and get flushed out before they can cause an infection. No infection means no kidney scarring. No scarring means your filters stay intact. There was a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition that followed older women who ate cranberries regularly. And those women had 40% fewer urinary tract infections than the women who did not. That is not a small thing. That is your kidneys getting real, measurable protection from a real food. Cranberries are also packed with antioxidants that reduce inflammation throughout your entire urinary system. And that inflammation, when it runs unchecked for years, is one of the quiet drivers of chronic kidney disease in older adults. Now, how do you eat them? Fresh cranberries are tart, so you can add a handful to a smoothie with some berries and a little honey. You can bake them into oatmeal. You can even cook them down into a sauce without adding tons of sugar. But avoid the cranberry juice cocktails in the store. Those are loaded with sugar and corn syrup, which we are going to talk about later, and that sugar actually works against your kidneys in a major way. A handful of fresh or frozen cranberries, 3 to 4 times a week, can make a real difference over time. And I want you to hold on to this idea of kidney filtration as we go through the rest of this video, because filtration is going to come up again, and not in a good way when I get to the fruit you need to avoid. Filtration is going to be the reason. But before we get there, I want to share something I think about a lot when I talk with older adults who tell me they are doing everything right, taking their medications, watching their salt intake, drinking plenty of water, and yet their kidney function numbers keep dropping year after year. And what I find again and again is that the issue is not effort. It is that nobody ever connected the specific foods they were eating to what was happening inside their kidneys. That connection is real. It is measurable, and the beautiful thing is you can start working with it today. Which brings me to the second food that can help protect you as you age. The second food on the protective side is red bell peppers. Now, you might be thinking, peppers are just vegetables. What is special about the red ones? The difference is actually enormous, and it matters far more than most people ever get told. Red bell peppers are one of the best low-potassium vegetables you can eat, and for anyone over 60, especially if your kidneys are already showing early signs of decline, potassium control becomes absolutely critical. Here is why. When your kidneys are healthy and young, they regulate potassium levels in your blood perfectly. They hold on to what you need and flush out the excess. But as kidney function declines, your body starts holding on to too much potassium. And high potassium levels in your blood can cause dangerous heart rhythm problems, irregular heartbeats, palpitations, and in severe cases, sudden cardiac arrest. Most vegetables that people think of as healthy, spinach, tomatoes, bananas, potatoes, are all very high in potassium. And for someone with declining kidney function, eating those foods regularly is like slowly turning up the volume on a risk they cannot see or feel until it is too late. But red bell peppers are different. They give you fiber, they give you vitamin C, they give you powerful antioxidants like lycopene and beta-carotene, all without loading your blood with excess potassium. That vitamin C is especially important because it protects the small blood vessels inside your kidneys from oxidative damage. Those blood vessels are incredibly delicate. They are the first things to break down when inflammation starts creeping in. Think of those tiny blood vessels like garden hoses thinner than a human hair. When they are flexible and open, blood flows through smoothly and your kidneys can filter waste efficiently. But when oxidative stress damages those vessels, they get stiff and narrow. Blood flow drops. And when blood flow to your kidneys drops, those filtering units, called nephrons, start dying off one by one. And once a nephron dies, it does not come back. Red bell peppers also contain compounds that help reduce systemic inflammation, which is one of the major drivers of chronic kidney disease in aging adults. You can eat them raw with a little hummus, roast them, and add them to salads, sauté them with onions, or stuff them with lean protein and bake them. The bright red color is a sign that they are packed with the protective compounds your kidneys need most. A serving or two every day keeps your potassium low, your antioxidant levels high, and your kidney blood vessels protected. Now, I know we are moving into some territory that might surprise you next because the third protective food I want to share is something most people do not connect with kidney health at all. The third food is cauliflower. And before you tune out thinking this is just another boring vegetable lecture, let me tell you something specific about cauliflower that changed how I think about it. Cauliflower is one of the richest sources of a compound called indole-3-carbinol, and this compound does something critically important that most people never hear about. It helps your liver break down and eliminate toxins more efficiently. And here is why that matters for your kidneys. Your liver and your kidneys work as a team. Your liver processes toxins and breaks them down into smaller compounds. Then your kidneys filter those compounds out of your blood, and send them out through your urine. But when your liver is sluggish and overwhelmed, it dumps partially processed toxins into your bloodstream, and your kidneys have to work overtime trying to filter out substances they were never designed to handle. Over years, that extra workload wears your kidneys down. It is like asking someone to run a marathon every single day with no rest. Eventually, they break. Cauliflower also has something that most kidney patients desperately need and do not get enough of: fiber. And not just any fiber. Cauliflower has a type of fiber that feeds the healthy bacteria in your gut. Those bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation throughout your entire body, including inside your kidneys. Here is something worth sitting with. Most people think kidney disease is just about the kidneys, but research now shows that gut health and kidney health are deeply connected. When your gut microbiome is out of balance, it produces uremic toxins. Those toxins get absorbed into your bloodstream, and your kidneys have to filter them out over and over again, day after day, year after year. That constant toxic load accelerates kidney decline. Cauliflower helps rebalance your gut, which reduces the toxic burden on your kidneys. It is also low in potassium, low in phosphorus, both of which are critical for anyone with early-stage kidney disease, and it is incredibly versatile. You can rice it and use it in place of regular rice. You can mash it like potatoes. You can roast it with a little olive oil and garlic. You can blend it into soups to add creaminess without dairy. Just 2 to 3 servings a week gives your body meaningful amounts of what it needs to take pressure off your kidneys and support the organs that support them. Now, we have talked about 3 foods that are genuinely working for your body as you age, and I hope you are feeling some encouragement right now, because this is not about perfection. It is about small, consistent choices that add up over months and years. But I also promised you something else today. And this is the part I want you to really pay attention to, because this is where a lot of well-meaning, well-intentioned seniors are quietly making themselves worse without ever knowing it. There is one common fruit that many older adults eat every single morning, a fruit that has a solid reputation for being one of the healthiest things you can possibly eat. And for a younger person with healthy kidneys, it mostly is. But after 60, especially if you have any early signs of kidney decline, this exact fruit can quietly accelerate kidney damage in a way that most people never see coming until it is far too late. If this is making sense to you, leave a comment below with the word "protected." It lets me know you are still with me. The fruit I want you to be extremely careful about, and in many cases avoid completely, is star fruit, also called carambola. Now I know star fruit is not as common as bananas or apples, but it is showing up more and more in grocery stores, health food markets, smoothie bars, and tropical fruit bowls. It is beautiful. It is exotic. It is marketed as a superfood packed with vitamin C and antioxidants. And for someone with perfectly healthy kidneys, it probably is fine in moderation. But for anyone over 60, especially anyone with even mildly reduced kidney function, star fruit is not just risky. It is genuinely dangerous. And here is the part that most people never get told. Star fruit contains a neurotoxin called caramboxin. And when your kidneys are healthy and working at full capacity, they filter that toxin out of your blood quickly and efficiently, and it passes harmlessly through your urine. But when your kidney function is even slightly reduced, and this includes early-stage decline that has not been diagnosed yet, that toxin starts to build up in your bloodstream. And caramboxin is not like other toxins. It crosses the blood-brain barrier. That means it gets into your brain. And once it is there, it starts interfering with the neurotransmitters that control everything from your muscle coordination to your consciousness itself. Here is the simple version. Caramboxin acts like a false signal in your brain. It mimics a neurotransmitter called GABA, which is supposed to calm your nervous system down. But caramboxin does not just calm you down. It overstimulates certain receptors and blocks others, and that creates a neurological storm that your brain cannot shut off. The early symptoms look mild: hiccups that will not stop, confusion, nausea, muscle twitching. But if you keep eating star fruit and that toxin keeps building up, the symptoms get worse: seizures, loss of consciousness, severe confusion that looks like dementia, and in extreme cases, kidney failure. Patients who ate star fruit have died from the neurotoxic effects because their kidneys could not clear it and their brain could not recover. There was a case study published in the Journal of Nephrology about a 73-year-old man with mild chronic kidney disease. He ate 2 star fruits after a meal. Within hours, he developed unstoppable hiccups. By the next morning, he was confused and disoriented. By that evening, he was seizing. He survived, but only because his family got him to the hospital in time and the doctors knew to look for star fruit toxicity. And here is the terrifying part. Most people over 60 have some degree of reduced kidney function and do not even know it. Kidney disease is called a silent disease for a reason. You can lose 50, 60, even 70% of your kidney function and feel completely normal. No pain, no obvious symptoms, just a slow, invisible decline that only shows up on blood work. So when someone in that situation picks up a star fruit at the grocery store, sees that it is labeled as healthy and exotic, and eats it thinking they are doing something good for their body, they are actually putting themselves at risk for a neurotoxic reaction that could land them in the hospital or worse. Now, I'm not saying that star fruit is poison for everyone, but I am saying that if you are over 60, you should not be eating it without knowing your exact kidney function. And even if your kidney function is normal, the risk is not worth the reward. There are dozens of other fruits that give you vitamin C, antioxidants, and flavor without carrying this kind of danger. Try replacing star fruit with fruits that actually protect your kidneys. Blueberries, strawberries, apples, grapes, cherries, all of these are low in potassium, packed with antioxidants, and completely safe for aging kidneys. And if you have been eating star fruit regularly and you are experiencing unexplained hiccups, confusion, muscle twitching, or weakness, stop eating it immediately and talk to your doctor. Ask for a kidney function test. It could save your life. Now, while we are talking about foods that quietly damage your kidneys, I want to mention 2 more that are just as dangerous but in a completely different way. The first one is processed deli meats. Turkey slices, ham, salami, bologna, anything that comes pre-sliced and packaged in plastic at the grocery store. Now I know deli meat is convenient. It is quick. It is easy to make a sandwich with, and it seems harmless. But here is what is happening inside your body every time you eat it. Processed deli meats are absolutely loaded with sodium. A single serving, just 2 or 3 slices, can contain 500 to 800 milligrams of sodium, and most people are eating 2 or 3 servings in one sitting without even realizing it. Excess sodium does not just raise your blood pressure. It forces your kidneys to work harder to filter it out of your blood and maintain the right balance of fluids in your body. Think of your kidneys like a water filtration plant. When the water coming in is clean, the filters work smoothly. But when the water is full of salt and chemicals, those filters have to work overtime, and over time, they start to break down. High sodium intake also causes your body to lose calcium through your urine. And when calcium levels drop, your body pulls calcium out of your bones to keep your blood levels stable. That calcium ends up circulating in your bloodstream, and some of it gets deposited in your kidneys as stones or as calcification in the tiny blood vessels we talked about earlier. But beyond the sodium, processed meats also contain preservatives like sodium nitrite and sodium phosphate. And here is where it gets really dangerous for kidney patients. Phosphorus, when it is in a natural form like the phosphorus in beans or nuts, gets absorbed slowly and your kidneys can handle it. But the phosphorus in processed meats is in an artificial, highly absorbable form. Almost 100% of it gets absorbed into your bloodstream. And when your kidneys are struggling, they cannot get rid of that excess phosphorus. It starts building up in your blood. High phosphorus levels pull calcium out of your bones and deposit it in your arteries, your heart valves, and even in your kidneys themselves. That calcification makes your arteries stiff, raises your risk of heart attack and stroke, and accelerates kidney decline even faster. There was a study that followed older adults with early-stage chronic kidney disease. The people who ate processed meats more than twice a week had kidney function that declined 30% faster than the people who avoided them. That is not a typo. 30% faster decline from something as simple as deli meat. You can fix this simply. Choose fresh, unprocessed proteins. Baked chicken breast that you cook yourself and slice at home. Hard-boiled eggs. Fresh fish. Beans if your potassium levels are controlled. These give you protein without the toxic sodium and phosphorus load that processed meats dump into your system. And I want to say something here. For the person who is trying their best, who is busy, who is doing what they can with the time and energy they have, I see you. The effort you are putting in matters, and a small adjustment like this does not undo that effort. It makes it work even harder for you. That is all we are doing here. Small, smart refinements that honor the care you are already giving yourself. Now, we have arrived at the second additional food. And this is one I want you to share with the people you love because almost every older adult I know drinks this regularly. And most of them have no idea what it is doing to their kidneys over time. The second food to be careful with is bottled iced tea. Now, this one is not about harm in the same way as star fruit. Bottled iced tea is not neurotoxic, but it is causing a different kind of problem that is very common in seniors and very rarely talked about. Bottled iced tea, especially the sweetened kind, is absolutely loaded with something called oxalates. Oxalates are natural compounds found in tea leaves, and when you brew tea at home and drink it fresh, your body handles those oxalates reasonably well. But bottled iced tea is different. It sits on the shelf for weeks or months, and during that time the oxalate levels concentrate. They get stronger. And when you drink a whole bottle in one sitting, you are flooding your system with far more oxalates than your kidneys were designed to handle. Here is the issue. Oxalates bind with calcium in your urine and form crystals. Those crystals are sharp, jagged, and they clump together to form kidney stones. And kidney stones are not just painful. When they get stuck in the tubes that drain urine from your kidneys to your bladder, they can cause a backup. That backup raises the pressure inside your kidneys, and high pressure inside the kidney damages the filtering units permanently. Even if the stone passes and the pain goes away, the damage stays behind. Every kidney stone episode leaves a little bit of scarring. And for someone who gets kidney stones repeatedly, that scarring adds up over the years until their kidney function is measurably worse. There was a case I read about in a nephrology journal, a 56-year-old man who drank 2 bottles of iced tea every single day for years. He thought he was staying hydrated. He thought tea was healthy. And then one day, he started having severe back pain. He went to the emergency room and they found not one kidney stone, but dozens of tiny stones throughout both kidneys. His kidney function had already dropped by 40%, and it never fully recovered. The other problem with bottled iced tea is the sugar. Most commercial brands have 30 to 40 grams of sugar per bottle. That is nearly 10 teaspoons of sugar. And excess sugar does not just raise your blood sugar and increase your risk of diabetes. It also raises your risk of developing diabetic kidney disease, which is now the leading cause of kidney failure in the United States. When your blood sugar spikes repeatedly over months and years, it damages the small blood vessels inside your kidneys. Those vessels start leaking protein. The kidneys lose their ability to concentrate urine, and eventually they lose their ability to filter waste at all. You can fix this simply. If you love tea, brew it fresh at home and drink it within a few hours. Add a squeeze of lemon if you want flavor but skip the sugar. If you need something cold and refreshing, try infusing water with cucumber, mint, or a few berries. Your kidneys will thank you. And here is something I think about when I see the person who is making a big glass of iced tea every single day. They are proud of that habit, and they should be. They are making an effort that most people do not. They are choosing tea over soda, and that is a good choice. But if that tea is bottled and sweetened, they are drinking something that is quietly filling their kidneys with oxalate crystals and sugar damage. They are making an effort every day and calling it healthy. And all the while, their kidneys are quietly running into a problem that will show up years later as chronic kidney disease. This is what I call a good intention, bad outcome scenario. You can only put so much liquid in your body in a day, and every glass of something that is working against your kidneys is a glass you are not drinking of something that could genuinely help you. Over months and years, that quiet displacement of real hydration adds up to real kidney damage. The fix is simple. Just swap bottled iced tea for fresh home-brewed tea or plain water with a splash of lemon. This one swap alone can meaningfully shift the toxic load your aging kidneys are working from. I want to take a moment and just talk to you, not doctor to patient, just one human to another. I know that getting older is not always easy. I know that the body does not always cooperate the way it used to. I know that some mornings you wake up and things feel different than they did 10 years ago. And that is real. I am not going to pretend otherwise. But here is what I also know. The choices you make at the table today are shaping who you are going to be 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. Your kidneys are two of the most resilient organs in your body. They have a remarkable ability to respond to better inputs at any age, as long as there is still function left to protect. I have seen it. I have watched people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s make small, consistent changes to what they eat, and I have watched their kidney function stabilize. I have watched their energy come back. I have watched their lab numbers improve in ways that their own doctors did not think was possible. It does not require a complicated diet. It does not require expensive supplements or meal plans. It starts with choosing cranberries over foods that scar your urinary system, red bell peppers over foods that overload you with potassium, cauliflower over foods that burden your liver and gut, and understanding that certain fruits, no matter how healthy they look, could be quietly working against the organs that keep you alive. You have earned the right to live these years on your own terms with your health intact, with the energy to do the things you love, and with kidneys that are still working well enough to keep toxins out of your blood. Every meal is a quiet decision about what those years are going to look like. And every single day, you still have the power to make that decision count. Your kidneys do not ask for much. They do not need perfect food. They do not need you to give up everything you enjoy. They just need you to stop putting the things in your body that are quietly breaking them down and start adding the things that give them a fighting chance. Make those choices count. I am Dr. Sarah Mitchell. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If this helped you or someone you love, please share this video and subscribe for more honest, practical health information for adults over 60. Your kidneys are counting on you. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.